Hi, thanks everybody for joining our press conference today. We are going to be talking about the Workforce Education and Recovery Fund. So yeah, thank you all for coming. We appreciate you participating in this press conference. My name is Marcos Cruz. I am a student organizer with AFT 2121 and a City College student. I went through the electronics program and now I'm part of the community health outreach worker program at City College. So yeah, thank you all for coming. We are going to be introducing the economic recovery training. Sorry, there was some feedback. Tomorrow at the Board of Supervisors meeting. And well, the reason that we're doing this is because City College has continued to be an important part of San Francisco as far as vocational training, the educational opportunities for the city. And recently with Free City College, we were able to make it free and accessible for all residents of San Francisco. Now we are at a time where we will need City College for the economic recovery of the Bay Area and San Francisco. You know, during the COVID-19 crisis, we see how City College has been part of how the city has been dealing with the crisis, and it will be part of their recovery as well. So without further ado, I would like to introduce some of our speakers today. First up, we'll have Supervisor Gordon Mar. He has been helping us craft this legislation over the last year to keep City College open to everyone in San Francisco and the Bay Area for job training, essential skill building, and all the educational needs that the community has. So let's please welcome Gordon Mar.
Thank you so much, Marcos. Actually, can everyone hear me okay? Great. Yes. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for joining us for this press conference about this important announcement of the Workforce Education and Recovery Fund. During this unprecedented health emergency, we have also been confronted with an unprecedented emergency in unemployment, with more workers having lost their jobs and income over the last 2 months than at any time since the Great Depression. Investing in City College of San Francisco to maintain and expand education and workforce training should be central to our city's economic recovery strategy. City College provides the most comprehensive offering of vocational training and adult education programs in our city, and it's tuition-free to all San Francisco residents. The Workforce Economic and Recovery Fund will ensure that nearly 100,000 unemployed San Franciscans can upgrade their skills and get back to work as soon as possible. As Marcos said, at tomorrow's Board of Supervisors meeting, I will be introducing legislation to place this measure on the November 2020 ballot for San Francisco voters to decide on. If enacted by voters, the measure will provide an annual allocation of $20 million in funding from the city's general fund to City College to expand their tuition-free job training and education programs and meet the needs of our communities during the COVID-19 recovery and beyond. The measure calls for strict financial oversight, accountability, and transparency, and the creation of a community advisory oversight committee. And it's based on the city's longstanding public education enrichment fund, which provides significant funding support to preschools and the San Francisco Unified School District. The Workforce Education and Recovery Fund, in effect, expands PEEF to include funding support to City College. So again, we're really excited to be introducing this measure at the Board of Supervisors meeting tomorrow and moving it forward. I want to thank all of the stakeholders and from City College and from the community that have worked with my office on developing the Workforce Education and Recovery Fund. It's an absolutely critical piece of our city's economic recovery strategy. And again, it will provide, by investing in City College right now, we will be able to support the unprecedented number of unemployed workers in our city to upgrade their skills and get back to work as soon as possible. So thank you.
Thanks, Gordon, Supervisor Mar, for those words about the Workforce Economic Recovery Fund. We are, excited as well to be, placing this on the November ballot for San Francisco voters to decide. Next up, we'll have Mel Yang, an ESL and nursing student. Like Supervisor Mar was saying, this is going to be a big part of this measure is to give training to the community here in San Francisco for several essential services that City College provides training for. And what better example than a nursing student. Mel Yang was actually supposed to take her final exam today, but she took it early to be able to participate in this press conference, so thank you so much, Mel. Mel will go on to serve San Francisco during this difficult time, and she wanted to share with us how CCSF helped her become a nurse. Thank you, Mel.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Mel. It's nice meeting everyone here. I'm a fourth semester nursing student. We'll be graduating in a few days. So it's very excited and also very grateful for the opportunity that CCSF have given me. I just want to share a short story how CCSF have helped me to establish a new life in this great country. So today you maybe only hear my story, but I'm sure that many people have similar story as I do. So as an adult immigrant who came to this country with a very limited English, CCSF was the only way for me to restart my life in this country. I will never forget the moment when I entered immigration at San Francisco Airport in 2009. The only conversation that I could have with the immigration officer was, I cannot speak English. So in the past 11 years, I started my learning journey in CCSF from a level 1 non-credit ESL class to now a newly graduate nursing student. CCSF have provided me the solitary platform for me to achieve my dream of being a registered nurse. So in the past years, while I was working with my English skill and getting my GE and my prerequisites done for the nursing program, CCSF have provided me support in different levels. While free CT has eased my tuition burden, making attending college more accessible to me, the English reading and writing lab, the science class tutoring lab, where I can get help for my homework, were also essential factors that helped me to accomplish my goal. Even in this unprecedented time, the nursing department faculties has been provided tremendous amounts of help or support for our cohort to graduate on time, so that we'll be able to help with this public health crisis. So without CCSF, my dream of becoming a registered nurse wouldn't be possible. So I'm so grateful for the opportunity and for the help that I get from CCSF. Thank you for all of your time, and thank you for supporting CCSF.
Thank you so much, Mel, for your words. We appreciate what you've said. I have a question for you from Susie Liu. She was wondering if she could know your Chinese name, if that's okay.
Oh, yes, I have a Chinese name. She wants to say it in Chinese. It's Yang is my last name. In Mandarin, Yang Hui Mei is my full Chinese name.
Thank you so much, Mel. And yes, thank you so much for what you said about City College being, the place where you had the platform to learn English, to become, a registered nurse now in this, incredible crisis that we're having. So we appreciate your words very much. Next up, we will have Dianna Gonzales, the interim chancellor at City College. She like I said, is the new interim chancellor for City College. She understands how our community colleges have been underfunded for quite some time now, and that we'll need community colleges for the economic recovery in the Bay Area and in San Francisco with enough classes and programs to serve the different needs that our community has. So thank you, Dianna, for being with us.
Thank you, and thank you so much for having me. It's been a whirlwind 47 days since my appointment, but who's counting? So this initiative is so critical for City College, and I really appreciate AFT, SEIU, the entire Labor Council, and you, Supervisor Mar, for introducing this, and the support of our board president, Shanell Williams, and our trustees. You know, even before the COVID-19 pandemic, we were faced with challenging budget items, budgeting issues. And so again, these are pre-COVID numbers. We were looking at reducing our schedule next year by about 17%. What that means is almost 300 classes were removed from our schedule. And that was across the board. That was credit and non-credit. So now with this pandemic, you can imagine what that's done to our budget situation. It's just made it that much more critical. And yes, a lot of folks are struggling during this downturn in the economy. So what makes us so special? Well, I'll tell you what makes City College so special. You just heard it from May. We provide what I want to call wraparound services for our students, our ESL classes. And the folks who come in and take our ESL, who then move on and they become productive citizens. The community college system, and especially City College of San Francisco, we are the linchpin for economic recovery. And my concern is if history repeats itself, when the recessions hit, that is when our enrollment grows. But that is when we are least funded. And so we want to break that crazy cycle. We need to, and we want to be there to support this community. We want to be there to support all of our students. We don't want to be in a position where we're turning students away. In addition to the 300 classes that we had to remove from the schedule for next year, with the additional cuts from the state, we're looking at a potential 500 classes that may need to be removed from the schedule. Now more than ever, funding for City College is critical. And I am so grateful for this group that's working together. And I hope we can continue to work together and advocate at this level, at the state and federal level, for funding for City College. Our community and our students deserve it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dianna. Yes, it is true that at this time it is critical for City College to receive funding, and not be left behind at a time when it would serve so many people, especially people that are losing their jobs right now during this crisis, who will need it to come back to work. Next up, I'd like to introduce one of such workers, Jimmy Wong, who's a recently laid off hotel worker that will be looking to City College for vocational, job, and skills training. Alan Wong, the legislative aide for Supervisor Mar, will be translated for Jimmy, his dad.
Hello， 我叫 Jimmy Wong， 黃啟煥啊。我以前咧響 China。
Hello, my name is Jimmy Wong.
我以前響 Chinatown City College 讀過書。
I used to take City College classes in Chinatown.
我新移民嘅時候咧，喺工廠做過工。
When I first came to this country as an immigrant, I started working at a factory.
做咗大半年咧，就俾 lay off 啦。
So after working for 9 months, I was laid off.
咁咧，後尾我就走咗去 City College 讀英文，增加我嘅英語嘅能力。
After that, I went to City College for ESL classes to improve my English comprehension and ability.
嗰陣時咧，見到學校有一啲係 cook training， 我就想學一啲手藝，咁我就報名啦。
During my classes, I heard about a cook training, so I put in my application.
讀咗半年咧，我就去一間餐館做工，咁經驗多咗之後咧，我就申請一啲酒店工。
After about half a year, I worked at a restaurant. After about half a year of working at a restaurant, I applied to a hotel.
按酒店做工咧，就有工會嘅保障啦，有醫療嘅保險同埋固定嘅收入。
Working as a hotel cook gave me a union job with healthcare, stable income, and helped my family.
對於我嘅屋企同埋兩個仔同我太太咧都有好大嘅幫助，全家都有醫療保險。
It gave my entire family access to healthcare. This job provided for my family as I served as the sole provider of 2 sons and a wife.
我3月中咧俾酒店 lay off，因為有新冠肺炎。
In mid-March, I was laid off by my hotel because COVID-19 caused my hotel to close.
酒店閂門咧，所以我而家就冇工啦。
I haven't had work since.
我以前喺工廠俾人 lay off 咧 ，City College 幫我好大嘅忙。
When I was laid off by a factory in the past, City College helped me get the vocational training I needed and helped me get a job. It helped me greatly.
有好大信心咧 ，City College 幫我哋學一門手藝，對我哋將來又係要好大嘅幫助。
I have a lot of confidence that City College can help me and other workers again get the necessary vocational job skills to help us in the future.
我應該投資多啲落 City College， 幫助好多人容易揾到工，學多啲技能。
So now is the right time to invest in City College to help people find jobs. Thank you. So proud to be translating for my dad.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jimmy and Alan. We appreciate your words, Jimmy, and I think your story is one that is very common among City College students, and we hope that you are able to return to City College in the coming months to get some more training. Thank you so much. Next up, we will have Shanell Williams. She's the current president of the City College Board of Trustees. Shanell was a critical student voice during the accreditation crisis, helping save CCSF from closing its doors back then. And now, as board president, she continues to be a voice for the students at City College, advocating for the classes and programs that the community needs. So thank you so much, Shanell, for joining us.
Thank you so much, Marcos. Can everyone hear me? Okay, great.
Yeah.
So I am so proud to serve as president of the board at City College of San Francisco. For over 80 years, City College has been a lifeline, safety net for our community and an economic engine for San Francisco. I want to thank Supervisor Mar for this much needed and important legislation to ensure that City College can continue to serve our students and provide needed workforce opportunities that will ensure that San Franciscans can learn the skills they need to be gainfully employed. We know that City College will be an essential part of San Francisco's economic recovery and recovery from the pandemic. Our college trains our frontline responders, like our phenomenal nursing students like May and others that have been on the front lines during this pandemic. And a past report shows that City College provides $300 million of economic activity to our city. Our college also just passed an $845 million bond that will create many needed jobs to repair our broken facilities and our infrastructure. And we know that with the news that has just come out of the governor's office, that our community college system will be facing billions of cuts. So this legislation is a win for San Francisco. It's a win for our students, for our faculty, and for our staff, and for our entire community. So again, I want to thank everyone for this collaborative effort, and let's just get this passed in November. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shanell. Yes, City College is a vital part of the economic activity of San Francisco. And like you said, $300 million of economic activity during such a deep recession like the one we're going to have is going to be invaluable and would help save many businesses in the community and many people from the financial hardship. So thank you so much for that. Next up, our next speaker is Vick Chung. They're the new CCSF student trustee incoming next year. And Vick will be talking with us a little bit about their efforts to advocate for students and fighting for a fully funded CCSF that can continue to give educational and vocational opportunities to the community. Vick, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Marcos. So again, my name is Vick Van Chung. My pronouns are they, them, and theirs. As the CCSF's incoming student trustee, as a second-generation immigrant born and raised in San Francisco, as a product of exceptional American international leadership toward Vietnamese refugees, toward my father who was tortured in re-education camps, toward my family, particularly my mother, that became victims in a cycle of violence triggered by war and civil unrest. I'm deeply proud to speak to all of you as an ordinary example of what City College of San Francisco can do for all of us in response to recovering from this pandemic and from this economic recession. To no surprise, right? This pandemic has hurt the poor and the communities of color the most. It's exacerbated decades and generations of discrimination and the oppression on the basis of race, gender, sexual orientation, immigration status, and ability. And we cannot talk about economic relief without talking about funding government programs like City College that empower marginalized communities. And if we want to talk about investing in a community-grown, community-centered solution that features comprehensive support and infrastructure to ensure high and dependable economic returns, we need to recognize that City College has always served this function in our community. We know that historically, we recovered from economic recessions by funding public educational institutes. Thus, funding City College of San Francisco is essential. Our recovery depends on it. You know, for me, from adolescence to adulthood, the affordability and accessibility of City College jump-started my ability to access greater social mobility and leave the cycle of violence. It strengthened my college application, allowing me to join Mayor London Breed amongst a family of graduates from UC Davis. The Free City program gave me the opportunity to explore and discover my passion for social justice work. And City College of San Francisco gave me the tools to understand, name, and address actors that contribute to systemic oppression. Like, I'm safe because of City College, and I'm able, and I'm excited to apply for graduate school because of City College. And I ran for student trustee this year because I knew how important advocating for educational funding is for our city's economic recovery. And so I asked our city's supervisors to join, you know, the associate students government who has already endorsed it to endorse WERF and ensure that San Francisco survives and thrives beyond this pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vic, and thank you so much for the work that you continue to do. And you know, we are all very excited to have you as a student trustee next year. Thank you so much for being with us today. Next up, I will introduce our next speaker, Cheuk Ho Tam. He is a student right now, or was a student at City College. Cheuk went through the biotech program at CCSF. And during his second year at City College, he was in the stem cell internship program. He'd like to share how that's helped him in his career and how CCSF biotech students contribute to important biomedical research. Thank you so much, Cheuk, for being with us.
Oh, hi. Hi, thank you for introducing me. Can everyone hear me? Okay, hi, I'm Cheuk, and thank you for having me. I'm grateful for this opportunity to attest to the value of the biotech program at City College of San Francisco. The biotech program has helped numerous students over the years enter the biotech workforce or build a foundation for advanced studies. So alumni of the program have contributed to the biomedical research workforce in the San Francisco and in the larger Bay Area. Personally, the stem cell internship exposed me to modern genomics and helped direct my focus for further studies. I worked in the lab at UCSF studying the genetics of autism for my stem cell internship, where I became intrigued with genomics. I realized that I needed more statistical training to analyze data in that field, so I pursued a master's in biostatistics, which I just finished last week at CSU East Bay. City College biotech alumni contribute to important biomedical research in this region. They do so directly as technicians, but also indirectly as part of a support network. In fact, many City College biotech students go on to mentor new City College biotech interns at their supervisors' labs. I actually know several of these alumni mentors personally. I also know of 2 alumni who entered PhD programs in biology after completing the stem cell internship. So in summary, programs like the stem cell internship at City College have provided really vital opportunities for students to develop their careers, and it will be crucial in helping San Francisco and the broader Bay Area community recover from COVID-19. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cheuk. Like you said, yes, City College is really a place where students can get training that will, help them be part of the fields that are going to help us recover from this COVID-19 crisis, both economically and from a public health angle. So thank you so much for the work you do and for your words. We appreciate you being here. Next up, our next speaker will be Jenny Worley. She's AFT 2121's current president. Jenny Worley has been working for a long time now on this initiative, the Workforce Education and Recovery Fund, and she was also a big part of the Free City campaign that gave us free tuition for San Franciscans to go to City College. So thanks, Jenny, for being with us.
Thank you, Marcus. Thanks for having me here. I'm an English instructor at City College, but I want to talk a little bit about our career and technical education classes, which it's not my field, but I think that those are really important to highlight today as we talk about the Workforce Education and Recovery Fund. We have over 22,000 students enrolled in career and technical education. And so with all those students, City College really provides training for jobs that are completely essential to the functioning of this city. Just in our healthcare programs, for example, our students are learning skills in fields like nursing, and they get real world experience in hospitals and clinics. You heard May talk about that. They also, a couple of weeks ago, our nursing students were the ones out in the mission swabbing people, testing for COVID, right? They went out there and, did their clinical hours to serve our city, which was just fantastic of them. We also train EMT, emergency medical technicians, paramedics. We train both registered nurses and licensed vocational nurses, medical assistants, phlebotomists, all kinds of medical professions. And our city desperately needs City College to operate these programs because we train the majority of our city's healthcare providers. But the cost of operating many of these programs exceeds the funding that the college receives from the state in order to do so. So our nursing program is a really good example. Our college has to really compete with the cost of with the salaries of nurses in order to get our instructors, right? So it's expensive to do that. So there's a real gap. There's a real funding gap for a lot of these programs. And that's why San Franciscans are here today asking our city to help bridge that funding gap with the Workforce Education Recovery Fund. This fund is crucial to the survival of City College and the job training programs that we provide. And with the impending post-COVID economic crisis, we are expecting a huge increase in people returning to school. Our career training programs are free and accessible to students of color who comprise the majority of the students in those programs. And we really need to be prepared to serve those students when they come back to school this fall. So City College needs to be fully funded with the classes and services for all San Franciscans who need the free, high-quality public education that we provide.
Thank you so much, Jenny, for those words. And yes, it's true that the vocational training at City College is exceptional, and unfortunately, it's not fully funded by what the state provides. So that's exactly why we need the Workforce Education and Recovery Fund here in San Francisco, so that we can continue to provide those essential training for essential services in the city. One of those services includes the San Francisco Fire Department, and today we have our next speaker and last speaker, Lieutenant Hashim Anderson from the San Francisco Fire Department. He got his career started at the Fire Science program at City College, which led him to be part of the San Francisco Fire Department. So Hashim, thanks for joining us, and thank you for being here.
Yeah, good afternoon, I guess. Yeah, thank you for having me. So my name is Hashim Anderson. I am a lieutenant with the San Francisco Fire Department, currently assigned to Station 31 at 12th Avenue in Gary in the city's Richmond district. So I am a proud product of City College of San Francisco. Went through the EMT program, the paramedic program, fire science technology classes, the Firefighter 1 Academy at City College. And prior to starting City College, I had no idea what the fire service was all about and working in EMS and becoming a first responder. It wasn't until I started taking classes at City College, then I realized there were not only great classes and instruction that can help you get to that goal, there is a pretty clear and direct pathway that you could follow in order to get to where I am today. Now, when I grew up at Laguna Neti in the 70s and 80s, and it was a very different time than it is currently. But my family, I had no one in my family that was a member of the fire service. Unlike many peers that I work with currently, they have fathers and uncles and grandfathers, second, third, and fourth generation San Francisco Fire. I had none of that. So my dad worked for SFUSD as a janitor. My mom worked for MTA as a muni operator. I knew nothing about it. Fortunately, City College helped me get to where I am today. One of the projects that I'm working on with the fire department is that I also work on our community outreach, recruitment, and education. And we're focused on trying to help our fire department better reflect the community that we serve. The one advantage that we have with City College is that relationship between the college and the fire department was very instrumental for myself. When I was going through my paramedic work at City College, I was able to do my field internship on San Francisco ambulances working in the fire station. My first experience in a firehouse in San Francisco Fire Department was actually on an ambulance with San Francisco Fire during my paramedic program. I was able to do work experience within the firehouses after completing the Firefighter 1 Academy and get hands-on experience working directly with San Francisco firefighters. So that relationship in terms of vocational is crucial. And to go back to what Vick's point was, City College now is more accessible than it's ever been. So anyone in San Francisco can take classes at City College with the free city, thanks to Supervisor Mar and the leadership of London Breed. We're able to provide access and opportunity without those financial barriers. So hopefully we can get our fire department to better reflect San Francisco. One thing I'm very proud of with the San Francisco Fire Department, we're the most diverse department in the entire world with the highest percentage of female firefighters in the entire world. So this last class that we had that graduated a couple of weeks ago, we had 170 people that we were thinking about hiring for this particular class. We got down to 56. We had a class of 56, 48 of them graduated. Out of those 48 people, 30 of them were from City College, which is huge. We have no problem finding good qualified candidates out there. We had a couple of classes ago where people came over from Stockton. We had 2 firefighters come over from Stockton. They were captains and started over as brand new firefighters with San Francisco. There are plenty of people who are qualified, who are experienced, who are applying for these jobs. The advantage of having City College right in our own backyard, we can train people in our own communities. Not only can they meet the minimum qualifications to become a firefighter within our department, we can actually help them excel beyond that point through the Firefighter 1 program and through the paramedic program. So fortunately, City College is still around, and thank you for all the hard work that everyone is doing. And hopefully we can get to a point where we can truly serve the community and be representative of the community that we have.
Thank you so much, Hashim, for those words about the fire science program at City College. I was really happy to hear all you said about the diversity and the amount of women firefighters at San Francisco. That's really, really great to hear. Thank you so much for all the speakers. Before I open it up to questions from reporters and people here from the press, I would just like to add, my own concern for City College. Like I said at the beginning, I was part of the electronics program when I first started at City College, and I almost had trouble graduating because one of the classes was going to be cut, one of the last classes that I needed to graduate. And the electronics department graduates people directly into work here in San Francisco as electronics technicians in BART and MUNI, the Electricians Union, and many other stable, good jobs that can provide a middle-class life for San Franciscans. And now I've joined the Community Health Outreach Worker Program at City College, which it's the people that are on the front lines as health professionals working with marginalized communities in the city. And I was, when I first started my first class, I learned that there used to be two cohorts every year at this program, and now there's only one. And in this critical time for San Francisco, it's important that we don't lose any more of these programs like the Community Health Outreach Worker or the Electronics Department or the Fire Science Department, the Nursing Department, and I could go on. Really, it's absolutely critical time for our city, and funding for CCSF is an urgent need to make sure we can recover from COVID and continue to fulfill the needs that San Franciscans have in the years to come. So thank you all, everybody. That's all I wanted to add for myself, but I would like to open it up for the press and reporters to ask any questions if they have any.
Sure.
Hey, Marcos, is it clear for how the reporters can ask questions, whether they could raise their hand maybe in the participant window or type a question in the chat window?
Yeah, I think if they want to raise their hand through the Zoom option or through the chat, that's great. I see a question from Gerald Chin from San Francisco Bay for Supervisor Mar. Which supervisors are sponsoring the charter amendment?
Thanks for the question, Gerald. We're still in discussions with my colleagues on the board because we just sort of got the final version of the measure finalized last week, at the end of last week. So, I think there's a lot of support, on the board for City College and in the concept for investing in City College, at this critical moment for our city, and having City College play such a central role in the recovery for our city and for unemployed workers. So we're still in conversations with my colleagues about it. There's a number of other measures that are going to be introduced tomorrow as well, because tomorrow is actually the one deadline for introduction of measures that are being proposed for the November ballot as charter amendments. Are there any other questions from reporters? I also wanted to just acknowledge that trustees Thea Selby and Tom Timprano, have joined us here, and they've been a key part of our work on this drafting the measure. Thanks, you guys.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to add that when I introduced Shanell, but yeah, thank you, Gordon, for doing that.
Well, maybe, Marcos, it looks like there might not be any other questions from reporters. We can certainly, reporters can follow up with any of us afterwards for one-on-one interviews, right? But maybe we could move to wrap up this press conference. So yeah, thanks again, everyone, for all of your work, especially those of you that are joining us. Interim Chancellor Gonzales, AFT 2121 leaders, the trustees, Williams, Temprano, and Selby, the City College students like Marcos, and our community advocates for really working with us on this critically important measure, that we're going to be moving forward tomorrow at the Board of Supervisors, and moving forward on the ballot in November. I actually did want to mention one positive point that we forgot to mention, is that we're very confident that there's broad support for the workforce education and recovery fund, and we did a poll on this just recently in the last few weeks, and it found very strong support, over 70% support from likely voters of the workforce education recovery fund. So, and I think that just reflects the understanding that we really have to invest in City College right now at this critical moment as we're moving forward in the economic recovery in our city. So, so thanks again, everyone, for all of your work on this, and we look forward to moving this forward.
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining our press conference on the Workforce Education and Recovery Fund. We'll be introducing this tomorrow with Supervisor Mar, so hopefully we'll see everyone tomorrow speaking in support of the Workforce Education and Recovery Fund. And yeah, I want to thank as well the members of the board who joined us, Dianna Gonzales, our interim chancellor, Vick, Chung, our new student trustee, incoming student trustee, and the wonderful students from our programs that joined us, like May and Hashim. Thank you so much. If there's no more questions from reporters, then I guess, yes, we'll move to close this press conference. Thanks everyone for joining. If you have any more questions, you can direct them either to Supervisor Mar's office or to AFT 2121, and we'll be happy to get back at you or schedule any one-on-one interviews that you might want to have. Again, thanks everybody, and I'm excited to keep working on this measure, and hopefully we'll get it passed in November. So thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, students. You guys were great.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Great to work
Congratulations, May, on graduating. It's so exciting.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thanks, folks.
Hashim. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
It's so good to have firefighter here.
Yeah. No, thank you for what you were saying about healthcare technology. It's by far one of my favorite departments.
Yeah. No, they're amazing.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you, Cheuk, for being here to represent biotech and our STEM Shell internship, and the path of progress that you were able to be on. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, thanks everyone. I'm going to end this call now. Thank you for making time today. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.